Hello friends, it's the first week of July and we have our completed June numbers, so it's time for another Kitsap County Housing Market update. Let's jump in and take a look at the numbers. Let's start with our average sales price. I just want to point out this is for all of Kitsap County and this is for all property types that you see over here. And the first thing that we notice is that we saw a decline in the average sales price from May to June. Now this could potentially be an indication that we're headed toward our winter low and we'll slowly work our way down from there. Or we could bounce back in the next couple of months, come up a little bit, and then make our way toward our winter low. Let's take a look back at the last few years for reference. And so in 2025, from May to June, we saw a decrease, and then we jumped back in July and August before we started to make our way down toward our winter low. In 2024, from May to June, we went up, and then up in July, and then we started to make our way down toward our winter low. In 2023, we stayed pretty stable from May to June, and then we started to work our way down toward our winter low. So this is something that we'll be keeping an eye on over the next month or two to see if we'll bounce back and work our way up before we head down to our winter low, or if we've already seen our average sales price high for 2026. Now, I have been predicting that we would meet or exceed this all-time high that we saw back in June of 2022, and it looks unlikely that that will happen, but I'll be watching to see how close we get over this next month or two. Now again, this is a broad look at all of Kitsap County, so these numbers are going to vary from city to city and area to area. If you'd like more specific numbers for your particular neighborhood, reach out to me or your real estate agent and we can help you get that. Now let's take a look at the inventory, total amount of homes for sale. And so from May to June, we saw a slight increase and we're sitting right around 1,100, which is really similar to where we were last year. And I would say that this chart here looks pretty steady since July 2022, really May 2022, these highs and lows have looked really steady. So our inventory's been quite steady. And if we look at months of supply, we saw a slight increase, 3.2 in May up to 3.3 in June. And so we're working more toward that balanced market, which is somewhere between 4 and 6 months of supply. And remember, we've looked at this before, but if we zoom all the way out to look at our months of supply, we can see that we've got a ways to go. One thing that I think is valuable to keep in mind is the SIOP project, the Shipyard Infrastructure Optimization Program. And this website here is a good one to keep track of. A lot of information on here, multiemissiondrydock.com. I'll leave the link for this down below. There's a lot of information here if you'd like to read through it. But the one thing I'd like to point out here is they're mentioning how big of a project this is up here. But down here, we'll see that the project is awaiting a record of decision, which is anticipated between the fall of 2026 and the winter of 2027. And they're expecting construction to begin in the spring of 2028. And this is a really big project, so I encourage you to read through this as you think about the future of Kitsap County here. So let's come over and take a look at days on market and showings to pending. This can be helpful if you're a current seller, your home's on the market, and you're wondering why it hasn't sold. These two numbers can help to give you some indications of how you're being received in the market and what you might need to do moving forward to help you get your home sold. And these can be valuable for buyers to look at as well. So if we look at the median days on market currently in Kitsap County is around 11. And that's very similar to what we see this time of year over the past number of years. And then we look at our showings to pending. And right now it's sitting at 7. So the way that we look at these numbers, if you've been on the market for more than 11 days and you have had more than 7 showings and you don't have any potential offers, that's an indication that you either need to drop your price or you need to improve the quality of your home. Now, 11 days is a pretty short time on market. I would probably suggest if I was your agent, I would say let's look more at the 14 to 21 day range and see if we've had those 7 showings to make that decision. And then we can start to formulate a plan as we get toward that 30 days on market if we haven't received any offer and decide which way we want to go. Now, alternatively, if you've been on the market for more than 11 days, or let's call it more than 21 days just to be safe, and you've had less than 7 showings, well, that's an indication that either the marketing is not doing a very good job, you're not reaching enough potential buyers to get the showings that you should be getting, or it means that you're priced too high. Buyers see the home, they see the location, they see the bedroom, square footage, all that. They see the price and they just decide off the bat, that's too high, I'm not even going to go and view it. And so for sellers that are currently on the market, these are good numbers to look at. And that concludes this edition of the Kitsap County Housing Market Update. If you have interest in buying or selling a home here in the Kitsap or surrounding areas, my name is Nolan and I can help. Feel free to reach out to me directly anytime or click the link below to go to my website. Thanks for watching.